All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Hello, once again, my name is Chris. This is my channel, We Love Comics. And I just want to say right off the bat, I want to apologize. Had some really bad news yesterday, not really going to get into it. But I promised people that when the PGX books arrived, I would do the video today, so I wanted to make sure I did that. So I just want to apologize in advance if I don't seem my normal self. There's just a lot of stuff happening, and it's just kind of a snowball effect. But I'm not here to talk about that stuff, so you don't have to worry. But my tone will probably not be what it usually is. So like I said, I just want to apologize right off the bat for that. All right, and with that being said, I want to give a shout out to PGX, the company that I use to send these 4 books in every month. I do not have a contract signed with them. I tried to do this with CBCS and CGC. They never responded. It's been almost 4 years now where I send in 4 books to PGX. They grade them, press them, signature verification if it needs it. And been close to 4 years now that I've been doing it. And I never know what the grades are. I don't want to find out until I open them and show them with you, so we find them all out together. And if you ever want to use PGX, I mean, what company you use is up to you. I'm not here to tell you who to use or who to find is the best. All I can tell you is please do your own research and make sure you figure out which company works best for your current situation, because all 3 major companies have pluses and minuses. So it really depends on what you're doing, what comics you're grading, and why you're getting them graded. So make sure you do your research. Just don't believe everybody saying only one company does everything, because there's no company in the world that does everything right. So if you are interested in using PGX, I highly encourage you to go into the description of this video where you can find links where if you send 10 books or more to PGX to get graded, if you use the code We Love Comics Free Press, you can get one of them pressed for free. So depending on the book that you send in that you want to get pressed, could be anywhere from 20 to 30, 40 and up retail value for that. So it's a good way to save some money. And also, one of the things that I encouraged Daniel Patterson to add, which I'm very happy he listened. Not many businesses, I mean, let alone talk to him, let alone actually listen to you. You can add grader's notes to the back of your slabs if you desire. It's a $5 charge. Just use the code We Love Comics. Grader's notes, I make sure they add them all the time. I like it. Whether you like it or not is up to you. But with that out of the way, let me put on the video camera. I see a couple of people here. So like I said, in case you missed it, just really bad situation happened yesterday. Not going to get into it. But just my mood is not going to be as great as normal. So forgive me for that, but I promised to make this video. Alright, so there's 4 comics, and this is a box they put it in. So very happy about that. I mean, if you've been watching, and the reason I do it live is so there's no edits, there's no trickery, there's no hiding stuff, there's no editing out something or a mistake if somebody says the wrong word or something. I like to just show it live so you can make up your own decision. And look at this. So they put it in a box. They filled it with a lot of this paper. So they do a great job. Now, I always tell you the significance of the book. I tell you what I paid for it and what I thought the grades are going to be. Keep in mind, I am not a professional grader, so I don't always get it right, but I'm usually pretty spot on. So, very excited to see how these came out. So they're in a box. There's bubble wrap. And then, of course, you'll probably see, and I can already see it already, the blue cellophane that they wrap around the comics as well. They also include the bags. Let me just put those to the side. I mean, I have, knock on wood, in the 4 years, 3.5, 4 years I've been doing this, never once has any of the slabs arrived cracked, damaged, or anything. So, to me, customer service is very important, and making sure you get whatever you order back the way you got it, the way you sent it, you know, that's important. So they do see, the good thing about this is it keeps these locked tight. So if, you know, the post office or Federal Express, wherever company is sending them, you know, they're not always careful with people's packages, and the less they move around, the less likely they will get damaged. So looks like, again, all the slabs look perfectly fine, and I can already see, because the nice thing is they always put it bottom side up, which I appreciate. I can see they put the greatest notes. So let's see what we got. So if anybody wants to hit the like button, you can. 3 people have already hit the like button, so thank you for that. I really appreciate that. Let's get this party started. Okay, so first up, all right, we're going with the one Silver Age of this group. And by the way, these came back within less than 30 days. And I do not get special treatment. I do not get, you know, speedy delivery or anything. I just get them regular mail. So, as you've seen lately, they've been getting better and better with turnaround times. Usually by the end of the month, I get the next batch. So, you know, that's also something to consider as well. All right, so this, of course, Amazing Spider-Man 50, first appearance of the Kingpin. If you watched the Hawkeye series, you know that he, spoiler alert, if you don't want to know, just mute for a second, that Kingpin was in the TV show. Of course, they did an off-screen situation, which, you know, in comics never guarantees what you think you thought was going to happen happens. There's no way they would bring him back just for that, at least in my opinion. So I always got great deals on these. I didn't buy them like 10, 20 years ago. I bought these back in around between 2018 and 2019. But I only paid a total of $135 for this book, so it doesn't matter what grade it comes back. But you guys know me. I always say it, low grade is better than no grade. So I paid $135. I predicted about a 4.0 to a 4.5 with off-white pages. So let's see how we start out. Alright, so there we go, 4.5. Like I said, I'm usually pretty good. And normally when I do grades, I usually do a full grade. Like I'll normally do like a 3.5 to 4.5. But this one, and I'll show the back, looked really darn good. There aren't major problems with this book. I mean, if you want to say the major problem, if you want to even say that, is there's a little piece missing right there. I mean, there's a couple of color breaks along the spine, but there's no tears and everything. The colors present well. And it does say small pieces of tape on the front cover. That doesn't really affect the grade, especially with older books. Off-white to white pages, what did I say? I said off-white, so pretty spot on with that. And let's read the Greatest notes, which I like. They fixed the back label. It used to be the pgx.com was in the center, which made it look awkward, so they fixed that. So it's not focusing. But I'll read it. It says multiple stress lines along the spine. That's, you know, expected with a Silver Age book that's been read. Moderate cover, edge wear, weak spine. And pressing made this look beautiful. Because when I do my grades, I base it on what I think it's going to be after a pressing. So 4.5 for this book, paying $135. That's a good way to start out. So some good news with that. All right, so let's get to the next book. All right, this is one I bought years ago. Like pretty much when it first came out, I bought it from the local comic book store. So I only paid a total of $15 for this book. This is the Moon Girl Devil Dinosaur #1. This is, I believe, either the 1 in 25 variant or the 1 in 50 variant. I think it's 1 in 25. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But there is supposedly going to be a Moon Girl Devil Dinosaur TV show. Whether it happens or not, you know, even if they say something's going to happen, things can change. So until something happens, you never know. But I figured when it comes to a speculation, it's always good to get these books graded beforehand. So if it takes off, I mean, I have no love for this character, so I'm not attached to this book at all. So books like that are easy for me to sell. And that's some of the advice I give people. You know, sometimes it's actually better to buy valuable books that you don't like. The reason being is, when it comes time to either trade them or sell them, you don't get that buyer's remorse, so you don't feel like, oh, do I really want to get rid of this? Because it's always the books that you love that are the hardest to sell, and then you regret it afterwards a lot of times. So sometimes books that you don't have much attachment to makes it a lot easier. All right, so like I said, I paid $15, so it doesn't really matter the grade on this book. But I did say it's about a 9.6 to a 9.8. Of course, white pages when it comes to newer books. So let's see what we got. All right, so 9.6. Definitely not disappointed about that. Like I said, paid $15 for this. Slight cover wear, it does say. And they wrote on here that this is the Von Eden variant cover. This is the first appearance of Moon Girl. So, of course, would anybody love a 9.8? Sure. But I want to make sure it's an accurate grade. So, not disappointed in a 9.6 for this. Especially paying $15 for it. So, as they say, we're not going to complain. All right, 2 more to go, and thank you to the 9 people that have already hit the like button. All right, I have several of these. I've told people all the time, get this book. This is Young Avengers #1. This is the Wizard World Los Angeles variant, sketch variant. This is the first appearance of quote-unquote Hawkeye and the Young Avengers. A lot of people in this. So we'll see. I'm sure they're going to make a TV show or a movie at some point with these characters. Hopefully they build them up first and make them likable. But I guess we'll find out what direction Disney wants to take this stuff. Paid $461 for this book. Said it's about a 9.6 to a 9.8. White pages. Of course, I get these books pressed. I highly recommend you get your books pressed, because you never know, and the difference between a 9.6 and a 9.8 sometimes could be hundreds of dollars. All right, so let's see what we got on this one. All right, so 9.4. Yep, it is what it is. This is the Wizard World Los Angeles black and white variant cover. I have 9.8, I have a 9.6, and now I have a 9.4. 461 probably as of now would break even, but I don't sell things until they're popular. So if they make the movie and the movie is good, or the TV show, that book will continue to go up. All right, so last but not least, this was the hardest one for me to grade, because this book had a lot of defects, but they were non-color breaking, like creases. So this book, depending on the pressing, could be a really high-grade book. Now, I graded it lower than what I thought it could be, so I'm looking forward to seeing what the grade is. But from what I can see on the back already, this book looks perfect. Because like I said, there was not one color-breaking crease on this at all. It had a couple of wrinkles on the front and back, but none of them broke color. So depending on the pressing, I paid $215 for this book. When I bought it, it looked great. But like I said, there was a couple of non-color breaking creases. And this is exactly why I tell people get books pressed. I said 8.5 to 9.2 off-white to white pages. Because again, I wasn't assuming that the pressings could get everything out. So let's see. I'm really looking forward to this one, because from what I can see on the back of this book, it looks perfect. Survey says, holy crap, a 9.8. Star Wars 42, first appearance of Boba Fett. It's a shame the show is not doing the justice that Boba Fett deserves. But when I tell you, and like I said, if you watch the video that I did last month for these books, because I'm not really good at high grades, and there was no way I was going to say this was a 9.8, because it could pretty much only go down from there. But when I saw that the front and the back had not one spine tick, and I'll show you, and you're talking about a book that is black and white, and especially the black areas would show. When I bought this book, they said that it had 9.8 potential, but of course, like I said, because of the fact that it had a lot of defects as far as wrinkling and little indents. Not one of them had a color breaking crease. I mean, look at these corners. The corners are completely sharp. They're all pointy, and I'll show you the back. Now, you're talking a book that's mostly white. Not one bit of foxing at all. So I'm excited about this. Off-white to white pages. What did I say? I said off-white to white, so I finally got one right. So a 9.8 off-white to white pages. There is no grader's notes on here because, of course, with a 9.8, there's really nothing wrong with it. And the only thing I thought, and then I looked it up, I thought this was a color-breaking little tear, but that's actually because you could see there's a couple of them. There's little stars. And the way you can always verify things like that if you're not sure if it's part of the design is look at other comics. So I looked at other comics, and there were those two dots there. So those aren't color-breaking creases. That is part of the design. So considering the bad news I got yesterday, and again, I'm not getting into it, I am thrilled about this. And this is exactly why. Because if this book would have been unpressed, it would have been an 8.5 to 9.2. Because the back had at least 15 different little indents. There was a couple of little indents on the front. So if you did not press this, it would have been an 8.5 to 9.2. But because I recommend all the time, get your books pressed and make sure you know what you're doing, because presses are not going to help tears, obviously. They're not going to help color-breaking creases. They can reduce water stains, but they won't eliminate them. But when it comes to little folds or little indents or creases along here, because whoever owned this never read it. And when I bought this, they said that this book was never read. It was in their collection their entire life. It was never read. So a lot of times when people open the book, you'll get some little potential either color-breaking and non-color-breaking creases along the staples especially. Had none of that. This book is perfect. So I'll tell you, 2022 has been so far a not great year for me. I'm not going to get into the personal stuff, but I had a lot of personal situations happen to me already starting January 1st where I got COVID and my wife got COVID. But of course we're still here, so anyway. But I've had a couple other things happen, and it's only January. Person can only take so much. So this makes me happy. Well, at least happier. I mean, it's not going to change the situations that I'm going to be facing in the next couple of months to years, which are going to change my life dramatically. But I want to thank you guys for being here for me. I mean, I know my channel isn't the way it used to be. I know my channel's basically almost irrelevant at this point, and that's okay. I just don't have the strength and energy to do what I used to do anymore, health-wise and other things. There's situations that are happening in my life that have changed my priorities. But I'm going to try and do videos when I can. And I want to thank the 15 people that are here. And all 15 hit the like button, so thank you. I'm going to try and keep up the videos as long as I can. And it means a lot that you guys support me. It's been a rough ride, and I don't know where things are going to go. But you guys help make this a little bit easier. And I wish I can kind of go into some of the things that I have to deal with now. But I just, this is not the appropriate place for it. But go give PGX a try if you haven't used them. They are by far the cheapest. They haven't raised their prices like CGC has done twice in the past 6 months. Their delivery time has been a month and a half to a month. Their customer service, you know, Sometimes I've heard from people you kind of have to get at them once or twice, but I mean, that's like every company. Remember, they're busy, and they might have a lot of people calling. You know, if you have 100 people calling in one day, it's not going to be easy to get it back to everybody right away. So keep that in mind. Businesses can get busy, especially when you're talking, you know, before the holidays or after an event, Comic Con or something like that. But give them a try. And like I said, if you go to the description of this video, and check the description anyway, because there's a lot of different links and different discount codes that I place in there that I don't even mention. And you guys should take advantage of it. But if you send 10 or more books to PGX and use the code We Love Comics Free Press, you can get one of your books pressed for free. And like you see on at least 3 of the 4 books, because the 9.8 didn't need any graders notes, I just lost my train of thought. But yeah, for $5, if you use the code We Love Comics Graders Notes, and that's per book, you can have the Graders Notes added to the back. I like that because it basically makes the graders a little bit more responsible because it's right there for you to see. And especially if you're going to sell the book, having the Graders Notes on the slab lets your buyer know exactly what they're buying. So there's no trickery, there's no somebody forgetting to mention something. I kind of like that. So thank you to everybody with the kind words. Ran 4, I really appreciate that. Sam Goes Ham. I like that name. Gotham City, thank you. So I'm going to give a shout out to everybody today. So Ran 4, Sam Goes Ham, Gotham City Comics, Jason either Brazier or Brazier. Forgive me if I say that wrong. Ronnie Saunders, Gotham City Comics, Lee Smith, and Emery's Wilt. Forgive me if I butchered that. You're all today's surprise subscriber shoutouts. If any of you make YouTube channels and you want to post the link in the comments section to either a video or to your channel, you can do that. Just keep in mind that it will not show up right away because I do have to approve every link, because I always check it to make sure, you know, somebody isn't posting a link that brings somebody somewhere inappropriate, because I know, you know, there are people of all ages that watch my channel. So if you see a link, it means that it has been approved. So go support people, because trust me, in this world that we're living in today, there's a lot of bad things, there's a lot of bad people, a lot of bad situations in the world, but that doesn't mean you have to be one of those people in those situations. I think it's time we all learn to be nice to one another and help one another. So if you see somebody take the time to post a link, who took the time to watch one of my videos, go support them. At the very least, go check out their videos. You never know, they might have content that you might like. And to everybody out there, even if you're not watching it live, thank you so much for everything. Like I said, I'm going to make videos when I can. They're going to be sporadic. There's some rocky roads ahead that I'm not looking forward to, that are unavoidable. So forgive me if my content is not up to par of what it used to be. I will try my best, and I'll leave it at that. So thank you to everybody watching. Rick, hello. Since you're here, right before I end, I'm going to let you be the surprise subscriber shout out as well. So if any of you want to post those links, you can. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you to PGX. Sometimes it's just the luck of the draw. This definitely made my day a little bit easier. You know, Star Wars 42, 9.8, off-white to white pages. Get your books pressed. Like I said, if I did not have this book pressed, it would have been an 8.5 to 9.2, because when I say there was at least 10 to 12 front and back total of pressable defects, that's a huge difference in price. And what is the average? Let's say you go privately to a presser. What is the average presser charge? 30, 40 bucks? I don't know what the value is in a 9.8 or an 8.5, but I guarantee you the difference between an 8.5 and a 9.8, I guarantee you is more than 30 or 40 bucks. So get your books pressed. It's worth it, no matter what company you use. One of the benefits of PGX, they have in-house pressings and signature verification, so you do not have to have it shipped off to another department or to another business where it could potentially get lost or damaged. They do pressings incredibly well. I've never had a complaint about their pressings. No book has ever come back damaged. I've seen horror stories from other channels of people sending it, not to CGC or CBS or any other company. I'm talking about like private pressing companies where the presser ruined their books or charged them and didn't even press them at all. So, and also turnaround time. You know, I've seen videos where people waited a year from certain companies to get their books back. And even if it takes 3 or 4 months, that's 3 or 4 months of your books sitting in a pile. Who knows if they fall down or they get moved? Who knows the temperature control? Who knows if they're gentle with the books? Who knows if they stack 50 other people's books on top of yours? The longer they're away from you, the more likely something can happen. So turnaround is also key. So there's a lot of factors to involve yourself with when it comes to grading. Don't just go with one company because everybody says they're number one. And as usual, I will say CGC is number one, but they're not number one at everything. And with their price increases twice now in 6 months, with their customer service, I've seen horror show after horror show, with labels being placed in wrong, cases being cracked, customer service being difficult and challenging at best. Think for yourself. Please, do your own research. And that's all I'm going to say. So thank you very much for listening. I really appreciate it. I'll try and make another video soon. But just forgive me for the mood that I'm in today. And I wish you guys nothing but the best. So for all of you watching, thank you so much. You're all surprise subscriber shout-outs today. And don't forget, it is not you. It is not I. It is We Love Comics. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And I'll see you next video.